Hello, everybody. This is Ice, and welcome back. And today, you've probably already seen a lot of what I'm about to show you. This is my new largest project. At a volume of over 3 million cubic meters, this thing is absolutely insanely huge. It does a ton of functions, and it's the result of over a month of work. Just to give you an idea of the magnitude of the project, this thing contains 29,883 redstone dust, 8,064 torches, 9,883 repeaters, 991 blocks, and 4,512 pistons. That's an insane amount of redstone to go into one creation, but it's just I'm so proud of this thing more than anything else, so hopefully you'll enjoy it too. We're not going to get too technical or in-depth with the thing today. We're just going to be talking about drawing some of the simpler shapes. We're not even going to get into line and circle drawing. But there will be a more technical video explaining the GPU and some of its more advanced functions in a couple of days. Now, here are the user inputs, and it's a pretty intimidating looking input panel. We have these things over here that are labeled overrides, and then we have X1 and X0. What do these all mean? Well, these four are 5-bit inputs in binary. These are the GPU functions, and this is for circle drawing, so we won't worry about it today. So let's start by just making a simple point. The point function deals with only the bottom two rows, X0 and Y0. So we input some kind of binary number. Now, if you know binary, then you'll know that 3 is just 1, 1. So the X coordinate will be 1, 1. And our Y coordinate will be 4, so 1, 0, 0. If you don't know binary, I have a video on my channel about it, and there's tutorials all over YouTube. So now you can see that we have these inputted. Now we can come over here and literally just hit plot. It's that easy, and we will see that our pixel will appear on the rather large screen. Just to give you an idea of how big this screen is, it is 32 by 32 pixels. Now, most screens in Minecraft that I see are 16 by 16. This is 4 times the size of that, so it's pretty neat. The next 3 functions are all pretty similar, so it's pretty easy. Now, these 3 functions all deal with rectangles, so the first thing we do is basically we choose 2 corners of the rectangle, and of course there are only 2 remaining logical corners for the rectangle. And the device will of course figure that out by itself. So let's say we wanted to create a rectangle from 3, which is 1, 1, 3, and just to show you that these are points. This is the X coordinate of a point, and this is the Y coordinate. Now up here we will see some more inputs. This is the top left corner of our rectangle. So if we wanted to make a rectangle from 3, 3 to 8, 8, we can do this, and 8 is 1, 0, 0 in binary. And apologies for the weather, it's just a shame, but there we go. Now we've inputted these, and now we can come over here. Now we have 3 choices of functions for rectangles. The first one is just drawing a plain old rectangle, and if we press the rectangle button, we will see that we get a pretty nice square. It's in this case a square, of course, but, that's pretty nice. The next function, and of course clear, will just clear the entire screen, as we'll see in a moment. The next function is filled rectangle, which is pretty self-explanatory. It just fills in the middle of the rectangle, and rather than just leaving it open. Personally, I like the regular rectangle function better, but why not? Again, we can clear that off the screen with clear. And finally, we have the corners function. This is probably the weirdest function out of all of them. I'm not sure where you use it, but if we hit it, you will see that we get the corners of a rectangle, which, is kind of fun. I guess it's not nearly as interesting as some of the other rectangle functions, but, there you go. You can do corners of a rectangle too. And again, we can clear that off the screen. This button, of course, is unused because I couldn't think of an 8th function to add. I'm very sorry about that. Alright, so if you're still here, then you're probably pretty into this GPU. Again, you can download it, and all that good stuff. Now, just before we go, I'd like to just explain some of the basic technical redstone behind this. This entire part here is what's managing the inputs. Our 4 inputs come into here, get managed for line drawing, and come out. These inputs are going to go into these screen decoders, which will basically decide which pixel to plot on the screen based on what you've inputted, based on a binary number. Then your screen decoders are going to go through this fill hardware, which is used for rectangles. And then it goes into the screen memory, which is this stuff here. Now, the screen memory is just going to store whatever pixels you've already plotted. So whenever a pixel is created on the GPU, this big giant block of redstone here will just save it in. And if we come over here, that's a lot of the redstone already. That's all the redstone required for all the rectangle functions, really, and point plotting. Now, up here we have the really complicated looking parts. This piece here is a line jar based on Bresenham's algorithm, which is a fairly complex hardware algorithm, which I have made in Minecraft, which is pretty darn neat. And over here we have the circle jar down here. Now, this is even more complex than Bresenham's line algorithm, and I'm surprised this would even doable in Minecraft. It's insane that I got it working. It took a long time to debug, you don't even know. And that's pretty much this whole GPU. That's most of the redstone pretty much technically described. You can kind of see some of the accessories that people on the Ore server have put in this GPU over time. But there you go. That's about what I have for this thing for you. So hopefully you enjoyed my presentation of this thing. Like I said, there will be a more technical video explaining the redstone and the input panel a bit more later on. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it, and as always, well, remember to subscribe and share and like and all that good stuff, especially sharing, of course. And as always, well, bye now.